All right, good evening, everyone. I am Christina Campbell, and I'm just so thrilled to have my oldest daughter on tonight, Sarah, and she's up in Minnesota. And I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for coming on. I am going to share just a little bit of my story, even though most of you have heard it before. You know, I got into Young Living because I was in the Army, and I'm wearing my Army t-shirt today. That has um, no, I just happen to have this shirt on, but it has nothing to do with nothing. But it's funny because Sarah went back to Minnesota, and all the people that she grew up with, that we were moms together, and our kids went to school together and played softball together. They're all in Young Living. They're all in Young Living.
Yep.
And I was really happy to hear that because, you wonder if, you know, you just wonder. But we were all of the same mind of embracing those things that God had created on the planet. And so when I got sick and had been away from those ideals, God nudged me back into it, and I embraced it and accepted it, and he is the great healer. He's the one that healed me, but he used these oils to do so. And that's about as much as my story I'm going to share with you tonight, because most of you have heard it. But the point being that if we're open, God will lead us wherever that may be.
It's
And
funny that all your old friends were led in the same direction.
and it's funny that all my old friends were led in the same direction. It's wonderful. So I just want to, you know, say that I'm grateful to God for his guidance and for you guys, because of course I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I wouldn't be here teaching if it wasn't for you showing up. And I just want to thank God for having his hand over our company. Now, I want to preface all of that by saying, we are having struggles with shipping and the like, and we have since COVID came out, and our holiday launch was basically put on the back burner because of computer issues, and everybody wants this. I mean, not everybody, but there's so many people who want it, and then when we can't get it, we tend to get very frustrated. And I just want to encourage you and say, everything in its time. We are in a time of turmoil, but it isn't nearly as bad as the turmoil that Job went through. We have so much more to be grateful for. And I've been doing I was talking to my daughter about some historical research that I was doing on the Cathars and the Great Pyrenees in France, and how they were massacred, and to think that there were only 4 survivors of that, and yet we get torqued off if our shipment takes 14 days. And I mean, and lesser things can get us upset. I've had people tell my leaders that, well, they're done with Young Living now because it's just too frustrating. It's just too frustrating. Whereas some of us who have the life-saving stories would spend our last dime, I think, on an oil, because we know how potent and how important these oils can be for us, how pure they are. And of course that gets into our purity and our seed to seal, and the fact that we don't compromise, and the fact that we have the best, and that when people do use these oils, just like the people up in Minnesota who are using them right now, friends that I grew up with, that they're getting the benefits. You know, I don't know if they have the kind of background as far as education that I sought. You know, I know that there are things that you can do for different eye diseases, for example. And we have a friend up there that has lost her eyesight. And so, you know, we should seek one another out if we have knowledge. It's not about whose downline you're in or whose upline you have, or, you know, I kind of have the same belief system about it's not what church you go to or, you know, what religion you profess, but that we come together in unity, that we share our knowledge and our love and our acceptance of one another and our respect for one another. And I want you to know clearly that this is the person that I am. And this is what I want to continue to put out there while I'm teaching the oils, that we have a greater purpose. And that is to have one heart. And I've got my one heart oil here. I was showing everybody earlier. And I've been wearing it all day today. And it's the only oil that we have that's emerald green. If you put it in a clear glass bottle, just like this one is in a clear glass roller bottle, it is emerald green. Now I know it's hard to see here in this light, but it is green. And it is beautiful. It is a clear green color. And it is beautiful and it smells beautiful. And I know that it carries the vibrational frequency because of its purity and because we don't over distill. We don't get 2 distillations off of one batch like many other partner farms with other companies do. And it's all about the money. We don't do that. We get the pristine oil. And if it isn't pristine when it comes out after our testing,
Put it back.
we get rid of it. And it could be that we sell it to another one of those companies. So this is our seed to seal promise to you. And I just want you to know that you can put your faith and your trust and your security in knowing that regardless of our logistics issues that we're having right now or our IT issues that we're having, that we will not compromise for the purity that God is protecting. God is protecting this. And I believe that with my whole heart. So just know that we have the science, we have the standards. And if you don't know much about our seed to seal process, I recommend that you go to the www.seedtoseal.com and look at the 3 pillars. And that definitely is the sourcing, the science, and the standards. And read about, you know, who we are and why we do what we do. Okay, so that's our seed to seal process. Most everyone on here knows how to use oils, so I don't know that I'm gonna go over this in detail. I'm not. You can use them aromatically, internally, and topically, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. I want to start out by saying that there's nothing more important than a strong, healthy immune system, especially in this day and age, right now, in this year, in this time. And I don't think that God can be more clear that we need to take care of ourselves before we can take care of others. That this has to be, and Sarah, my daughter, was saying it earlier tonight, self-love. She really didn't understand it way back when, but then she got it. You know, I mean, we all go through a growth process. We're all on a journey, and she got it. And so she has learned. And Sarah, you can speak for yourself. I mean, if there's something you want to say, please, I invite you to.
Well, it's just that I always, I mean, it hasn't been something that people talked about for all my life, and growing up, of course, in church and all that, we always learn, you look out for your brother and you look out for your neighbor and you look out for everybody else, but nobody ever said to look out for me, and I've had to learn the hard way because I'm very much an empath, and I just let people just suck the life force out of me because I want to love them and I want to fix them and I want to help them, and I've really learned in the last couple years, actually, just more recent in my life, that I can't do that, or I'm going to just, I'm not going to be any more of me left. We can't serve out of an empty cup. So I finally realized it's not about being selfish. It's about taking care of yourself so that you can do and give without depleting your own vibration and your own energy and your own
Reservoirs.
Yeah.
You can't pour out of an empty cup. You can't give anything to anybody if that cup is empty. So part of what we're going to talk about tonight with the 30 different oils is your own personal wellness. I know a lot of young living people, they love others so much that they just give their oils away, and that's fine if that's what you choose to do. I mean, no judgment here, but there is nothing more than important than taking care of yourself. And the 3 oils that we're going to talk about to do that tonight are 3 of the oils that are in the 30 oils collection. That 30 oils collection was put together with a lot of thought and insight as to what oils, if you could only have 30, what oils would be the most versatile and the best, and that would touch every aspect of our being. And so the 3 that we're going to talk about just in our wellness, just in our immunity, are Melrose, Immu Power, and Tea Tree. These are 3 oils that you can use to support total wellness. I'll tell you, Immu Power has saved me more times than I can count. Whenever I have felt the slightest something coming on, I will take a hot bath, I will soak in oils, and then I will put Immu Power on the bottom of my feet. That's how I use Immu Power. You can diffuse Immu Power if you want your bedroom to smell like that. Because it's going to smell like that if you put it on your feet anyway. You can put it in your bath. You can just breathe it in, but putting it on the bottom of my feet, that the next morning, I wake up with virtually nothing. And so at the very onset of any, feeling yucky, losing energy, kind of nauseous, maybe a little bit of a headache, feeling like you're drained, get that Immu Power out. This blend has hyssop, which, was used by the children of Israel before they left Egypt. They did it to ward off the death angel. There's got to be something good in hyssop. It's got mountain savory in it, which is just about as powerful as oregano. It packs a punch, mountain savory. We don't hear about mountain savory that much, but it has a lot of the same constituents. So it's antibacterial, antiviral, antimicrobial, antiseptic. It's all of those aunties and no uncles. It also has cistus, which is a biblical oil. Cistus is also known as Rose of Sharon. It has camphor in it, which actually is taken from another oil. And I don't remember off the top of my head what oil that's taken from. So I apologize for that. It has frankincense. Maybe camphor is an oil in itself. I don't remember. I'll have to look that up for you guys. It has frankincense. It has oregano in it. So, gosh, oregano and mountain savory. Does it get any, more powerful than that? It has clove, which we know is an analgesic, and also is the highest antioxidant oil. So it's going to get rid of those free radicals that are compromising your system. That's vying for those healthy cells, because free radicals will do a ravaging number on your cells, healthy cells. And it has cumin. Cumin is powerful. Cumin oil is found in our detoxine, and cumin is also was found in Protect, which we don't have anymore, but we use that for prostate cancer, for treating prostate cancer. It was a mixture of cumin and frankincense and some other oils. And it has Dorado Azul. And it says here that it should be diffused or worn daily as all the components support living above the wellness line. However, I save Emu Power for when I'm feeling less than. I will wear Thieves every day. I wear Thieves every day. It's on my hands, my arms, I'm breathing it in, the bottom of my feet. It's all over. But when I'm feeling a little under the weather, then I go for that Emu Power. Melrose contains 2 different types of tea tree, as well as rosemary and clove. And this is really a must-have. Now, this is one of my youngest daughter's favorite oils, and I think a lot of it is in part is because when my kids were coming up, and we lived in northern Minnesota, up by Chisholm, way up on the Iron Range, I used a lot of tea tree. Do you remember that, Sarah?
Used to put it in our bath water.
I used to put it in your bath water. Well, I know I used it for everything. And Elizabeth, your sister, must have gotten an affinity to it because she absolutely loves tea tree.
Yeah, I do too.
You do too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Melrose has 2 types of tea tree. And Melrose is one of those things. I was introduced to Melrose in the first year that I came into Young Living in 1999. And I used it for my toenail fungus. And the beauty of it was it didn't discolor my toenails like lemongrass does. Lemongrass is actually the #1 oil for toenail fungus, but it will discolor your nails big time. So I used Melrose, and within 6 months, I had brand new toenails. So Melrose, and I love Melrose for scrapes and cuts and, things like that. So it's a must-have in your wellness cabinet. And it's good for your skin. It's good for skin. And then tea tree is made of the leaves of the Melaleuca tree. And there's more Melaleuca probably in Australia than anywhere else in the world. And I think that's where most of it comes from. And oh yeah, I think I used to put it in your shampoo. Yeah, I might have put it in your shampoo too.
Yeah, it could be. I don't remember.
Because it says you can use it with skin balms and shampoo, and I used to put it in their bath. So these 3 oils can be used individually, or they can be combined together. You can put them in a wellness roller, and everybody's going to these wellness rollers, I'll tell you. And I can't wait to once the holiday launch comes out, we've got some beautiful wellness rollers, different colors. They're gorgeous in Wild Gear. So you'll have to check that out when that comes back online. So while all 3 of these oils can be used topically or in a diffuser, I really enjoy putting them directly on my body. I use Melaleuca almost every day too. Thieves and Melaleuca are both in my car as staples, and I'm always putting them on my hands and breathing them in. just breathing them in all the time. And when the bottle is empty, I put another 15 ml bottle in my car. So those are 2 oils that I'm with all of the time. Okay. Also, I did want to add that ImmuPower contains some warm oils. And if you have really sensitive skin, like if you're putting this on infants or small children and you are going to make a roller ball, I would highly recommend that you dilute it. It's still going to be good. You know, you can take and put so many drops, you know, 5, 5, and 5 in a roller ball, and then fill the rest of it with V6, and it's still just as powerful and potent. So this is going to decrease or eliminate, you know, this is the sensation of being hot on their skin. Okay, let's go to the next slide. We're going to talk about daily wellness capsules. And I learned to use oils in capsules very early on. Very early on. We had so many recipes out there, it'd make your head spin. And one of the ways that I built my business was I sent out a lot of emails, and I sent out all these recipes all the time. You know, Gary's Bug Buster was a big one. And that was 10 drops of thieves, 8 drops of oregano, and 2 drops of frankincense. And then they came out with Inner Defense, which is pretty much the same thing. And so now we have them already made. But if you run out of Inner Defense and you have plenty of oils around and you have a supply of capsules, and I always recommend that you keep a supply of capsules, then you can always make those wellness capsules. The 4 oils that are in the 30 collection that are really targeted for daily wellness capsules are thieves, and that's kind of like that Inner Defense, that bug buster. Digize, and this is if we're really having digestive issues. Maybe you run out of digestive enzymes. Well, your go-to is Digize. Maybe you suffer with things like IBS or IBD or colitis or Crohn's disease or GERD or acid reflux, any of that. Digize, Digize, Digize. I cannot say it enough. Right now, I'm just going to give you this quick story, and I may have mentioned this in a week or two gone by, but I have a new gal in my organization, and I won't say her name, of course, and she has been suffering for years with ulcerative colitis and cyclical vomiting. And she is hospitalized regularly, and she was down to 85 pounds. Now, she's a little gal as it is. She's 23 years old. She has a 3-year-old daughter, and she has suffered. This woman has suffered, and she feels like, what else do I do? Where else do I go? And it took us a while to actually get together. But when we did, the very first thing I did was I sat her in my chair here in my office, and I had her put 2 or 3 drops of Digize directly over her belly. And what she said was, every moment of every day, I feel a burning, throbbing, kind of like a heartbeat, she said, on the lower right-hand side of my abdomen, kind of where the ascending colon and the transverse process meet, right there at the crimp. And that's where I think that issue must be. And after putting 2 to 3 drops of Digize over that, within less than 3 minutes, I mean, we were just talking about, you know, other oils, and I was showing her the kit, and we were doing all this stuff. She said, it's calmed down. I have no discomfort right now. And I was so amazed. And so, you know, I've been keeping tabs on her, like the very next day, because she brought home a kit that day. And I said, you keep DiGize with you all the time. And then, you know, we went through Valor and we went through Stress Away. And she believes that a lot of her digestive issues are caused by stress and anxiety. And this is true. IBS is almost directly related to emotional anxiety. So, you know, she says, I've been using my Valor, and she took a picture for me that it was on her desk by her computer where she was working. And then she said, and this has become another one of my favorites. She took a picture of Stress Away, but 2 drops of DiGize. I'm gonna tell you that I believe, again, God is the great healer, but I believe that DiGize is going to put her on the path of healing. I believe that. And so I called her the next day and I said, so how are you doing? And she said, I am doing great. And so, you know, we just have to keep working with it. We have to keep working with it. So thieves, DiGize, copaiba, and frankincense. Let's talk. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, guys. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about frankincense. Frankincense vitality, and we call it vitality because we're taking it, you know, internally for our wellness. It supports the immune system. It supports the nervous system. And the the skin. And DiGize helps with gut health. And then copaiba. Copaiba actually supports the cardiovascular system, the nervous system, and the respiratory system. And I remember when copaiba first came out, and I went to the Young Living Convention that talked about it. They also talked about that in South America, where the copal trees grow. That's where it comes from, the copal tree. And they actually tap the copal tree like they do maple syrup from a maple tree. It's the only oil, it's one of the few oils that we don't distill. And they said that they took it internally for digestion. And of course, we learned way back then that copaiba, I'm saying it like you, Sarah. Copaiba has been also known as the great magnifier. It has the ability to magnify the working of any other oil that you put it with. So if you put copaiba and DiGize in a capsule, and I need to tell my friend this, it should just bump it up. If you put copaiba and thieves together, it should bump it up and magnify the properties. It works really well with Panaway. If you have joint discomfort, it works really well with white angelica. If you are needing spiritual protection, and it works really well with Panaway, peppermint, because it just magnifies that. And that is why Gary put it in deep relief. He put it in deep relief because he had found that it magnified. And basically deep relief is Panaway with copaiba in it. It has peppermint, it has wintergreen, it has clove. I don't believe that deep relief has helichrysum in it, which brought down the price. But it's magnified with that copaiba, and a lot of people will be drawn to deep relief as opposed to Panaway. In our home, we are divided. Kenneth is a deep relief lover, and I am a Panaway lover. So, you know, it's okay. It's like having a Democrat and a Republican in the same house. Not really. I'm just teasing. Not getting into politics. Okay. So, yeah.
It's like having a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Philadelphia Eagles fan in the same house.
Okay, there you
rough.
go, Jillian. There you go. There you go. All right, so the next area that we're going to cover is fitness and exercise. And one of the hardest things that I have found in coaching others and, you know, sharing knowledge and education with others is that people have a hard time committing to long-term fitness and exercise. And what I have learned for myself is, number one, you have to find something that you enjoy doing. Because if you hate doing it, you'll hate it every day until you finally say, this ain't worth it. And one of the things that I so enjoy doing and have for many, many years is walking. And they say that it's some of the best exercise you can do. Now, I used to run back in the day. So, you know, for those of you who are a lot younger and you want to run, I highly encourage that you do. But at some point you'll slow down. I'm just giving you a heads up. You're going to slow down eventually. But one of the hardest things to commit to is a long-term exercise program. And for anyone focusing on a healthy lifestyle, the habit of exercising is one of the most important habits to adopt. In order to make your fitness routine more enjoyable so that you're going to stick with it, incorporate your oils. And that's why I have Melaleuca or tea tree and thieves. I also have loyalty in my car. I also have my little satchel here, and I'll sit in the car before I go for my walk because I go to the park. And I'll pick through my bag and I'll say, okay, what do I got in here? I've got frankincense. I might drop a couple of drops of frankincense directly on my head so that when I'm walking, I feel like I'm open up to God's spirit. It's kind of a time of meditation for me. I also have a bottle of my destiny in here. And I love my destiny. I just love so many of the oils. It's just ridiculous. But this is really one. And you know, once this bottle is empty, then I'll grab something else. There's not much in it either, because I use these oils every day before I go exercise. And then after I go for my walk, I oil up again. So this is the thing. Exercise or your fitness routine is going to be more enjoyable, and you're going to stick with it better when you infuse it with essential oils. And according to the American Heart Association, being physically active will help you to prevent heart disease. We know that, and stroke. And that's the nation's #1 and #5 killers: heart disease and stroke. And to improve our overall cardiovascular health, we suggest that you exercise for at least 30 minutes 5 times a week. And what I do is I walk 3 to 5 miles a day, every day, a minimum of 6 days a week. And usually it's 7 days a week. Usually it's every single day. It's good to break it up, your exercise up. Like, you know, I just walk and then I don't do anything else the rest of the day. I mean, I don't do enough upper body. I will tell you that right now. I need to, you know, start incorporating some weights and stuff. And I've got all the equipment to do that. It's just that it's getting your mind right and getting into the right habit. Don't you agree? You know, and it can be a struggle, but once you start doing it, don't you feel just incredible? Absolutely incredible. I know my daughter has started an exercise program. Sarah, do you want to share how great you feel?
Well, yeah, I just started going to the wellness center here in town. And so I can't do a lot because I have no discs in my lower back and I have a lot of problem with my legs, but I bike about 4 miles a day. I walk a mile a day and I swim every day, and almost every day, unless I have something that I have to do in the morning, then I'll skip and go the next day. But yeah, I've been doing it pretty much every day, and it's helped a lot. I haven't really noticed a difference with my pain level in my back, but just my overall feeling, you know, and energy levels is much better. And it encourages me to eat better because, of course, I don't want to go out and do all that work and then come home and eat crap.
Yeah, put all you've done to waste. Do at this point, are you incorporating any oils in your exercise and fitness program?
Not specifically, no, but I do use oils every day at home. You know, I use lavender every day. I use my CBD oils almost every day, and the other ones just get alternated around. I use a lot of lemon and different ones, so
Thank you for sharing. I do have a little bit of a story. I have a girlfriend up in Maryland who I've known ever since I met my husband. So we've known each other for 30 years. And she is very introverted. She's not gregarious. She's not out there, meeting people. And she was very, very much dedicated to her fitness. So she would go to the gym, 3, 4 times a week, and she would work out and go home. And she never and she's been using the oils ever since she met me, ever since I introduced her to them in 2000. And of course, she brought oils in her gym bag, and one of the oils that she brought in her gym bag was Deep Relief. And after she would go work out, she would roll some Deep Relief on her shoulders or on her neck if it was a little stiff or sore, or she was feeling some sore muscles on the back of her biceps. And a woman started following her around for days because she wanted to smell this oil. So finally, this woman stopped her in the changing area and said, "I'm sorry, but I've been stalking you now for going on a week." And she said, I have got to know what oil you're using. Now, remember, Joan was never, ever going to do this as a business. Number one, she wasn't going to tell anybody about it. If they asked her, she could share her information, because Joan actually did a lot of studies. She listened to a lot of Gary's CDs that I shared with her, and she did her research, her due diligence, and she learned about the oils. So if somebody had an oil question, she had an answer for it, but she wasn't going to seek them out. Well, she ended up sharing Deep Relief and telling her about the oils. And do you know that woman started her own downline, and Joan does about $2,000 worth of business every month now. And she never wanted to do this as a business, but she says, the thing I like about it, Chris, is that it helps me to pay for my oils. I said, well, Joan, I was just talking to her the other day. I said, well, Joan, I know it's none of my business, but can I ask about how much your check is? I mean, how much does it help with your oil? She said, well, last month I put in a $300 order and 184 of it was paid for by my check. So, you can't hardly throw that out the window. That's good. That's a good deal. Okay, so we were talking about exercise, and that I talked about the Heart Association, and I do want to tell you that using oils over your lungs before you work out, on your muscles after you work out, peppermint especially is going to help with getting rid of uric acid in the muscles. So you're not going to have as much discomfort. If you're really pumping, you're doing, resistance training, you're going to feel it. And you can alleviate a lot of that muscle discomfort by using peppermint oil, dilute it, put it in your water. That's really, really important. So these oils will spice up your workout routine, and it'll keep you coming back for more workouts. Other oils that are really great, and some of my favorites for exercise, are RC over my lungs. This is perfect to spread over your lungs before and after exercise. You can add a roller top to your oil bottle for easy application. The invigorating smell of eucalyptus and other oils in this blend will really make any high intensity workout more bearable, because you're getting more oxygen. You're feeling better. It's not so much of a struggle. Now, I know you can't do that when you're swimming, but you most definitely can do that after you're out of the pool. And, you know, if you're going to take a shower, get the chlorine off, then you can put your RC on. Deep Relief and Panaway both contain wintergreen. Oh, Deep Relief does have heliochrysum in it. That's right, it does. They both have wintergreen, heliochrysum, clove, and peppermint, and they provide deep and lasting relief for your sore muscles, your joints, your ligaments, and any head tension. I know Deep Relief works really well if you feel like you're getting a slight little headache. I'll actually roll it on and roll it over my forehead and on the other temple and then on the back of the neck.
Oh, one thing that I didn't mention, although I haven't used the oils on myself while I work out and stuff, what I do is I bring straight thieves cleaner in my little spritz bottle and I spritz the shower room down before at the end of my workout before I take my shower and get dressed, because I always bring clean clothes and take my shower there. That way I don't have to clean my tub.
There you go. There you go.
So
Yeah,
I spritz it down before and after my showers, and that way it's clean for me. It's clean for the next guy, you know.
that's a good idea. Great thought. Like that. Another thing that Deep Relief has in it that isn't in Panaway is Idaho balsam fir. So it has copaiba and Idaho balsam fir. And Idaho balsam fir, well, it's called Idaho grand fir now, gives you feelings of empowerment. And then it also has, Deep Relief has Palo Santo and lemon, which helps you feel energized. And then it also has vetiver in with the copaiba. And this decreases stress. So vetiver, we know, is great for raising the alpha waves in the brain and lowering the beta waves. The beta waves are what cause us to be anxious. And so really, you know, if you meditate at all, there are actually 4 states of thought, if you will, of being in your mind. One of them is beta, and beta, the frequency of beta is from 14 to 21 megahertz. So that's your highest. That's where all the lack of focus, squirrel, oh, there's another nut over there, let me run after that one. We're in beta after the first 5 minutes of waking up. And if you drink a cup of coffee at that time too, you're just hyping up all that beta. The second phase is kind of a restful phase, and this is called the alpha state. This is when the alpha waves are slowed down from that waking. You're just getting ready, preparing for meditation. You're in meditation. The vibrational frequency of the brain is about 7 to 14 megahertz. It's slowing down. The next stage or state of brain activity is theta. And theta is that dreamy state. And it's that dreamy state that we manifest more than any other mental state that we can be in. And you're staying in that state of about 4 to 7 megahertz theta, but you're awake. So in other words, you haven't allowed yourself to go off into dreamland. You're in deep meditation. This is the place that you need to be if you're changing your subconscious mind and you're training your mind in the positive, that you're developing faith, that it's almost on the verge of hypnosis. This is when we can make the largest changes to our subconscious mind. And of course, then the last stage of the brain is delta. and delta is your deep sleep. And that is less than 4 megahertz. But you can actually program that delta brain before you go to bed by affirming the things that you want to bring about in your life. If you're looking for an exercise program that works for you, we're talking about fitness, I might as well just, use this as an example. If you're really truly looking for an exercise program that works for you, you might suggest to your mind before you fall asleep at night and use some oils that are going to really seat that in, like frankincense or vetiver. It's going to slow that brain down. Or Dreamcatcher wouldn't work for me at night because it kind of keeps me awake. I don't know why that it does that to me, but everybody's everybody's metabolism and chemistry is different. But highest potential might be one. Magnify your purpose might be another one. And these are great for soothing adrenals and just really helping you get that deep sleep. Rutavala might be the perfect one because that has valerian in it. And that, number one, it's going to knock your butt out, but it's going to help to seat those affirmations that you're using just before you go to bed. And upon waking, in that first 5 minutes of waking, that's your alpha state, you're going to reaffirm those things. You're going to ask, you can actually ask God, you can ask your angels, you can ask your spiritual guides to guide and direct you through the night, through your sleep, through the delta waves, and give you an answer. And I guarantee you, you'll have an answer. So use your oils, seat this stuff in, find an exercise program that works for you. And you'll find that you'll have less stress in your life, and that you'll feel better because you're going to have an exercise program and you're going to feel great. Something else that you want to incorporate in your fitness and your exercise is purification. And that's another bottle of oil that we get in the 30 collection. And purification is going to be your odor eater. It's going to be great for freshening up your tennis shoes. You can use this blend for 100 things. You can use it in your homemade dryer sheets. You can put it on your wool dryer balls so that it just freshens up your clothing. And for those of you who are on the holiday launch, you'll know that we have laundry bags now with discs that you can put purification on, and it will keep your, clothes that might have odor in them less odorous. So
That's what I use in my car. I have those vent diffusers.
Yeah.
And I always use purification in the car. And I forgot I do use oils at the gym. I use frankincense and elemi, but I use it after my shower.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was breaking out really bad, probably from getting into the exercising routine and sweating more and stuff like that. And so I started using elemi on my face, but then I had a few little fatty tumors. My mom was with me years ago. I had one removed, but I've had a couple new ones in my old age. And so I just put frankincense or sandalwood on them and they just melt away and they go away. But yeah, so I do use those oils at the gym when I'm finished.
Cool. And you use purification in your car. So you can use purification in your tennis shoes, in your laundry bags. It will freshen up stinky garbage or an old sofa. You can diffuse after cooking fish in your house.
And it is the A1 cure for cold sores.
Really? Purification?
I had a girlfriend in Illinois when I worked there. She had cold sores so bad. I've never seen anybody with them as bad as she had. And I got her on purification, And she said it was the first thing she said when she'd get the tingle, she'd put it on and it would just stop them in their tracks and they would never open up and come to a head. It was, yeah, it's really, really, purification is the best thing for cold sores I've ever seen.
Wow. That's great to know. I know you can use other things like Melissa, but it's very pricey. So purification is going to be less expensive. You can use thieves, but it burns like heck. So purification might be a good go-to. Obviously it is because it worked for her friend. Purification also is very effective at keeping you annoyance free during the hot summer. I would wear purification and tea tree on my walks because gnats just drive me crazy and I can't stand flies and I don't like mosquitoes. And so I just, I want to be annoyance free. So I use that. And you can add purification to water in a spray bottle and spray it over clothes before going outside, you know, to help that. You can freshen up your clothes in your closet. I do this a lot. Nobody goes upstairs in my house except when the kids come home. And so I'll go up there. I have a spray bottle of purification and I go in every room every once in a while and I just spray because it just gets so dull up there. You know, there's nothing fun up there. There's nobody's diffusing up there or anything. So I'll go and spray purification. You know that water is really a must during exercise, and every day you want to try to drink between half an ounce and an ounce of water per pound of body weight. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds, you need to be drinking 75 to 150 ounces of water a day. And if you're living in a hot climate and you're exercising a lot, choose the higher end of that range. And you can actually go to webmd.com and /diet/features/water for weight loss. And it'll talk to you about, you know, how effective water can be. Peppermint Vitality Oil is another oil of the 30 collection. And of course, we know that it supports a healthy cardiovascular system. It oxygenates your body. And when you're well oxygenated, your endurance and your speed increases. Many professional athletes are learning about the benefits of Young Living and our essential oils. And they're adding it to their they're adding Peppermint Vitality to their game beverage, their game day beverage every day. So I know when we first got into the oils, Kenneth has always been a tennis player since 1976. And he faithfully puts peppermint in his water even to this day. So just to add a drop of Peppermint Vitality to your fitness beverage, whatever that might be. What is your favorite way to get exercise? I would like to hear from anyone else who'd like to share. What is your favorite way to exercise? Just unmute yourself and give me an answer. I know you're there. What is your favorite way to get daily exercise?
I chase after the kids.
That's your favorite way?
I chase after them. I gotta lift them up to change their diapers. Lift up the ones that want to be difficult to get them to point A to point B. So
that is your favorite way to get exercise.
It's taking care exercise.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, April, for sharing. Anyone else? What is your favorite way to exercise? And I don't want you to tell me that none of the rest of you are not exercising.
For me, it's either taking a hike up in the woods because it's how I get from point A to point B. Or at one point I was doing a walk to the end of the road, which was maybe 3/4 to a half mile. And yet I found that I preferred going up in the trees in the woods.
Yes, the woods. That would be great. That would be great. And you can do what they call, what do they call that?
Forest bathing or something?
Forest bathing, yeah, where you just breathe in the conifers and you breathe in the trees and all of their natural aromatics. And then if you add this new winter's night oil that we're going to be getting pretty soon, that should be awesome. That should be awesome. So, okay, so we're pretty much done with fitness. I'm going to go on to the next one. The next subject area is deepening your connections. And little by little, the internet and mobile technology seems to be subtly destroying the meaningfulness of interactions that we have with others, especially since we have, so many of us have quarantined and, you know, kept away from other people, and it disconnects us from the world around us, and it leaves us with a feeling, especially this year, guys, it's been leaving us with a feeling of a sense of isolation in today's society. So, and this class actually illustrates that point very well. We are all here on the internet learning, as opposed to sitting in my living room, hanging out and smelling these awesome oils and, you know, having some of Kenneth's warm wassail on a cold night. This definitely does have its plus and minuses. I'm able to teach some of you on the other side of, you know, the United States, but I don't get to deepen my bond with those of you who live in the same town. We just don't get together right now. So let's make a pact that we're gonna get together with our local friends next month and actually interact and actually talk to one another. Food and beverages provide a common denominator for friends and loved ones at social gatherings. And unfortunately, when you're on a healthy lifestyle path, food and drink can sabotage your healthy habits. So let's also make a pact to bring only healthy, oily infused food and drinks to our local gatherings. I've always been a big believer in setting the tone or setting the example, being the example. You know, if I think that sugar is not a good thing to have a lot of in your diet, I'm not going to bring a cake to a gathering. If I'm gluten-free, I'm not going to bring bread to a gathering, or if I know that there'll be somebody gluten-free there, I'm not going to bring bread to a gathering. So, you know, think about getting together with your friends in the next month. Maybe you're thinking about bringing family together for Thanksgiving, and think about taking the traditional things that you make and tipping it on the side of health. I know I make homemade cranberry sauce every year, and adding cinnamon oil to it and orange oil to it has really made it flavorful. I make lemon meringue pies, and I do it with squeezing my own lemons, and I put 10 drops of additional lemon oil in each pie. I use thieves in my sweet potato pie. I actually put thieves oil in my sweet potato pie. So you can bump up some of the traditionals around Thanksgiving with oils. Use oils like lemon and citrus fresh and grapefruit and orange, all from the Vitality line, to create lasting memories and delicious beverages. Now, I'm a big promoter now of the Vitality drops. In fact, I just finished my glass of water, and I really, really would like it if my husband would come and get my glass and fill it up with more water. Kenneth? Kenneth? Yoo-hoo! Kenneth?
Maybe if you say please, he'll come.
Could I get some more water, please? With a little squirt of my Vitality drops? Thank you. I think he was out on the porch sleeping, actually, and I probably just woke him up. But you can also make a lavender lemonade. But the one that I'm using right now that he's putting in this glass of water is the bergamot grapefruit YL drops. I just love this stuff. It's so good. Here's a lavender lemonade recipe. And I can actually copy and paste this in the chat. Let me see here. Where's my chat? And we'll go through it together. Paste. Oh, that just went to April. That should have went to everyone. Okay, so that recipe, I'll take this down, is 6 lemons juiced and 1 lime juiced and half a cup of honey and 2 drops of lavender vitality essential oil and then 3 drops of lemon vitality, and then add ice water, about 10 cups. And if you have some lavender sprigs, what do you see? What do you see?
Behind you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Whoa. Thank you. If you have some lavender sprigs, and my lavender is still out there blooming right now, you can, put that on there and then combine the lemon juice, the lime juice, the honey and the lavender vitality in a large glass pitcher. Add water to taste. I'm a big stevia user. I don't put sugar in my coffee. I use stevia. I put stevia in my water when I'm just using straight oils. I just put a drop. But if you're not, a stevia lover, and I actually get mine from Trader Joe's, just to let you know, you can use honey to sweeten. But I've gotten so used to the stevia by Trader Joe's. I get it on Amazon. I get 2 bottles at a time shipped to my house, and they last a long, long time. There's also the little powder stevia of the same Trader Joe's brand, but I like the drops best. I gave the powder to my son because he loves the powder. But I've gotten to where I am totally happy with stevia. Also,
I would suggest if people are going to use honey, specifically seek out local honey to where you live, especially if you have any kind of allergies or anything like that, because it helps so much. The bees collect their pollen from the things that grow in your area. And so if you have an allergy to things in those areas, that honey just really helps you with your allergies. But it has to be local. I always buy local grown. I will seek it out. You can't always find it in Walmart or whatever, but yeah, I just wanted to add that.
yeah, find somebody in your area that actually has their own bees and get your honey from them. Then you'll really be personally connected to where your honey comes from. Thank you for that. So another thing is we want to, using the oils in the kitchen when you're cooking, when you're baking, they're actually the most cost-effective and easy way to spice up a dish. Essential oils are the most potent form of the herb. For example, I used to teach this all the time, and I haven't said this in a long time. 1 drop of peppermint oil is equivalent to 26 cups of peppermint tea. That means that a little goes a very, very long way. So for example, if I'm making my own spaghetti sauce, I will not use an entire drop of oregano. Or we have Italian, what is it called? Taste of Italy. Taste of Italy. That's what I have in there. I will take a toothpick and I will put it down the orifice of the bottle. Let it soak up a little bit of the flavor, and then I will swirl it around in the pot. Then I'll taste it. If I need more, I'll do the same thing. But if you put 1 drop of oregano in a pot of spaghetti sauce, regardless of how large it is, you could have just ruined an entire spaghetti sauce. And you can't take out a drop once you put it in, if you've stirred it all in. So remember, A little bit goes a very long way. I use 4 drops of cinnamon bark or cassia or cinnamon CBD in my coffee every day, because that cinnamon is really, really good for blood sugar. And the cinnamon CBD is not only good for my blood sugar and tastes great in my coffee, but it mixes with the organic cream that I have in my coffee, and it is absorbed much better. So that's what I do with my coffee. Here, I'm going to share with you 4 popular oils then from the Vitality line that are in this 30 collection. Cinnamon bark, which of course tastes like cinnamon, smells like cinnamon. If it walks like a duck, it talks like a duck, it must be cinnamon. It must be a duck. Clove Vitality, and cloves are used in like Asian, Mexican, and European cooking, and generally accompany other spices like cinnamon and cardamom. So be cautious again when you're using cloves, as they're very strong. And this oil will support your cardiovascular system, your digestive, your immune system, and your respiratory system. Oregano is in this kit, and it's used a lot in Greek and Italian cooking. And oregano is most often paired with tomatoes, but it also very good with roasted vegetables, with meat and fish, and it supports your immunity and your respiratory systems and your muscles and your bones. And lemongrass comes in this kit as well. And lemongrass provides a very zesty lemon flavor and aroma to many dishes, especially Thai. Lemongrass is used in Thai, Filipino, and Vietnamese type dishes. It supports your immune system and your muscles and your bones. Okay, so we're going on to the next section. Oh, that was oils in the kitchen. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. So, overcoming occasional work-life stressors. A quick Google search is going to tell you that stress takes a major toll on our health and our well-being, both mentally and physically, right? I was talking about how stress can affect our digestive issues, colitis, IBS, that kind of thing. It's so important for us to stay sharp and alert at work, and of course, decrease those occasional stressors that hinder our performance in and out of the workplace. And even if you work your own business from home, you can get wrapped around the axle, as I call it. Diffuse stress away in your office. I recommend, my 2 favorites are frankincense and tangerine. I love those 2 diffused in my office. I diffuse it in my Aria back here. But stress away is a great oil to keep you calm. Also, abundance is a good oil, and energy is a good oil to have at work. I'm going to recommend that you apply abundance to your ankles, and you apply energy to your wrists. So you're diffusing stress away in this work environment, you're using abundance, and you're using energy. Another thing that you can do is you can put abundance on your wrists, and you can put energy over your adrenals, which are sitting on top of your kidneys. So if you put your hands on your hips, where your thumbs end up is where I want you to rub energy. And the reason is because energy has nutmeg in it, which is extremely supportive to adrenal fatigue. It's supportive to good, healthy adrenals. That's what I should say. So more abundance of anything good in your life is a good thing. Less stress is better. Get more out of your day at work with abundance blend. And with the more abundance that you have in your life, the more energy you're going to need to enjoy it. So getting a good night's rest is key, but also use energy blend to keep you fresh and energized and support those adrenals during the day. You can diffuse these as well, or you can apply them topically as needed. Also, if you're working as an IT person or you're just in front of the computer all day long, I would highly recommend that you have Valor, but these three are in the 30 kit. And don't forget to use Endoflex, which is also in this 30 kit. This is great for an afternoon beverage. Get a hot cup of water and put in a drop of Endoflex. And maybe you want to put it in some afternoon Ningxia Red. But what this is going to do, it's going to uplift and invigorate you. Endoflex is really good for supporting the thyroid. And thyroid is really an energy center. So you want to support that every way you can. The oils in Endoflex are spearmint, sage, geranium, myrtle, nutmeg, and German chamomile. So be careful. German chamomile is blue. If you have a white blouse on and you're wanting to put it over your thyroid, it could stain it. So I recommend putting it in a hot cup of water and having that as an afternoon tea. 1 drop of Endoflex. Okay, so finally we're going to talk about sleep and how to support sleep. And I just had a class the other night on stress, sleep, and sadness. So we're going to kind of talk about some of the same oils, but these 3 oils that you see here on the sleep side are the 3 oils that are in the 30 kit. And they are cedarwood. And you know that this one's really popular for sleep. It's steam distilled from the bark of the cedar tree, and it has up to 90% sesquiterpenes. And that means that the molecules are so tiny that they can cross the blood-brain barrier and oxygenate our brain while we sleep. This one is great at night. You'll see, and I've found this in my studies to be true, that at night animals will lie down under cedar trees for protection. And what it does is it recharges them and it rejuvenates them. So create your own canopy of, like that tree. Be that little deer when you get in bed and diffuse your cedar wood at your bedside and create that canopy of relaxation and recharging and protection. Another oil that's really good is eucalyptus. It's steam distilled from the leaves, and it's a perfect oil to diffuse or apply over your lungs at night. One of my best friends, Pam Hyen, she is in love with eucalyptus globulus, and every single night, I know when we go on vendor trips together and we stay in the same hotel room, she is just rubbing copious amounts of eucalyptus globulus on her chest every single night. It is one of her favorites. If she had to give up an oil, it would not be eucalyptus. Aroma Ease is another great one. And it's a blend of peppermint, spearmint, ginger, cardamom, and fennel. And this blend contains oils traditionally used for their abilities to soothe the digestive system. And they don't call nighttime rest and digest for nothing. And we actually got aroma rings that you could put in your nose, and you could breathe in either lavender or Aroma Ease. And I gave my girlfriend, my new member, the one that was suffering with such bad digestive issues, I gave her some aroma rings so that she could wear them throughout the day, helping with her anxiety and also helping with her digestive issues. Last but not least is our spiritual and mental well-being. And if you're looking to deepen your spiritual side in this 30 kit, we have provided Northern Lights spruce, Northern Lights black spruce, or Sacred Mountain. And yeah, I think that's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, Northern Light spruce and Sacred Mountain. Take time to pray or to write in a journal or to meditate, whatever you decide to do, and do it with Northern Lights black spruce or with Sacred Mountain in the diffuser. Northern Lights black spruce essential oils comes from the Young Living's Northern Lights farm in British Columbia, Canada. And you can diffuse this rich, woodsy and invigorating scent during prayer or meditation to create this fresh or aromatic atmosphere. Oh, it's so great. And Sacred Mountain is actually, I'm going to give you a little backstory on this. Gary, where he would go to find out about what blends he was going to make would be in the mountains, and he would ride his horse up into the mountains of Idaho or Utah, wherever he was at the time, and he would pray to his Heavenly Father and ask Heavenly Father for the blends, the recipe for blends. And he got this Sacred Mountain from that very experience. So Sacred Mountain has ylang-ylang in it. It has conifer oils in it. It smells like the woods. And it evokes a sense of sanctuary that you find only when you're in nature. And it promotes feelings of strength and empowerment and grounding and protection. I love Sacred Mountain. I love to take a bath in Sacred Mountain with the bath gel or Epsom salts. I prefer the bath gel. And I just love breathing it in. Where is the place that you feel most at peace? Is it in the woods? Is it in the mountains? Is it on your walk? Is it in your closet? Where is the place that you most feel at peace?
In the water.
There you go, in the water. Yeah, we have an affinity to water, Sarah. And I think that's one of the reasons we love Minnesota so much is we had so many lakes up there. And remember when we'd go up to Phelps Mill and, hearing the water and seeing the water, smelling the water, feeling the water. There's something just very peaceful about it, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay.
How close to
so-
Minnetonka are you, Sarah?
I'm in Wadena.
Minnesota, which is southern Minnesota.
Mm.
Well, mid. I'm up north.
I got
About-
family in
about
that area.
4 hours, 4 hours north of the Twin Cities.
Ah,
Oh yeah, that's right. Wadena's up by Park Rapids, and
Yeah.
I got family in Minnetonka.
that's down in
My dad's
Minneapolis. Minnetonka is
Yeah.
a suburb of
By the
Minneapolis.
city, so I'm about 4 hours from there.
Yeah, I miss Minnesota. All right, guys. So the way that I wrap this up is if there's anybody new on here that is not yet a member, let me know, or the person that invited you. There's really only one name that I don't recognize on here. And maybe that's just my bad. And that would be Pamela Williams. And maybe I just don't remember Pamela. Are you a member, Pamela?
She's a member. She's a member. I don't think you've spoken to her personally, but she has a bunch of questions, but no, she's already in. She's new.
Okay, good. So she has a bunch of questions, Jillian?
Yeah, so we can get together. Pam, you can either ask Christina or we can get together after this call. It's your choice. So Christina is my mentor, so anything I know, it's going to be her telling me.
Okay, so everybody's a member. Everybody knows about Essential Rewards. Everybody knows that if you share this with a friend, Young Living will give you a thank you check. It's a wonderful world we live in when we get a check from Young Living every month. So if you want to take this time and you have some questions, and I'm not just talking to Pamela, I'm going to stop my share here. This is a place to do it. I'm going to stop the recording because a lot of times people don't want